start the meeting. I think I've given enough time.
And the meeting has begun recording.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is now 7:38 p.m., March 12th, and I want to call the meeting of the Youth and Education Committee to order. My name is Gail Grandison, and I'm the chair of the Youth and Education Committee. So welcome to all of our committee members and guests. I want to start off by just going around and asking everyone to please identify themselves. What are your committee member, board member, guest speaker, or guest for tonight? So I see I'm going to start off. Mayor Saunders.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Cheryl Saunders, and it's been a delight to be a committee member.
Thank you. George?
Hey, good evening, everyone. This is George Tate, and I'm a committee member. Did you hear me, Ms. Grandison?
We could hear you, Mr. Tay. It seems like Ms. Grandison is having some issues with
Oh, okay.
her mic.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now. Oh, sorry. This. I'm gonna try this. Can you hear me still? Okay. I'm sorry about that. Trying. Something's wrong with my laptop. Ms. McCain-Brown?
Monica McCain-Brown, committee member.
Thank you. Ms. Albrecht, did you hear me? Are you there? Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, how you guys doing tonight? Neil Albrecht, and I'm a committee member.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
Yes, hi. Good evening. I just want to say it's been a while since I've been part of this committee. I signed up a long time ago, and this is actually a first time me attending the meeting because it was always been a conflict with me attending.
Okay. Is this the person that was just asking, is that Terry?
Yes, that's me, Terry.
Okay. What's your last name?
Smith, Smith.
Smith. Okay. Sorry. We have two Miss Smiths on here. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to say Ms. Anne Reyes. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, I will be. I'm happy to go after my sister, Terry Smith.
Okay.
My name is Andrea Smith, and I am here today in the capacity of Regional Manager of External Affairs for Uncommon Schools NYC. Some of you might know me as the Special Assistant to Senator Kevin Parker as well. I attend the Community Board 17 meetings, so I'm very familiar with the community I live in the district. And I'm very excited to be part of this meeting tonight. I want to thank Ms. Grandison for inviting me, and thank you for being in your space.
And thank you so much for being here. Next person, Simone Monet Waltz.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Simone Monet Walls. I'm a committee member returning after quite a while. I was one from a few decades ago and had some scheduling conflicts. And so I'm here today. Good to see everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Guys, just know if I turn my camera, not disrespectful to anyone, but I just realized it's kind of freezing in and out. And I just don't want the system to shut down because I might have too many things open. Edith, Mark. You.
Hot now. Oh, wrong
There you
button.
go.
Hi, Edith Mark, and I'm a member, board member, and also part of the Youth and Education Committee. Hi, Miss
Thank
Smith.
you.
Edith.
How are you? Oh my gosh, good to see you. Oh.
We can bring folks together.
Yes, yes.
Amanda Blau.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda Bilal, and I am from Bridging Access to Care. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. Dr. Donna McLean Grant.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Donna McLean Grant. I'm a committee member and a board member as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. And there's not a name, but a telephone number ending in 78. Can you identify yourself, please? If you're on the phone and your telephone number ends in 78, can you kindly identify yourself? If you can unmute. Okay, Ms. Duncan?
Good night, everyone. Natasha Duncan, committee member, board member.
Thank you. Fatima?
Hi, good evening. Community board member of Fatima Muhammad, community board member and committee member as well.
Welcome. Kamara?
Hello. Wait, sorry, the camera's not working for me. Kamara Sway, community board member and committee member.
There you are. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. I think we got everyone. Miss Mickles. Miss Mickle, are you there?
Hello?
Muted. Okay. Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Yes,
Can you
here.
just introduce yourself? Good to see you.
Okay, I am Mulene Mickle. I've been with the board for a couple of years now, but I'm not regular anymore. Mainly because of my illness and my husband's illness. So we have problems. So both of us are not well. But I like the community board to know what's going on, particularly at this time of the year in our history. So I look forward to working with you some more so that we can bring about changes and help our youngsters.
Yeah.
As the year passes by.
Well, thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Cole. It's always good to have you here. Wishing you and your husband the best in health.
Thank you.
But thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Did I get everyone? Telephone number ending 9293 and then ends in 78.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, I was muted before. Hi, everyone. My name is Bianca Signas. Like a few other people said, I joined the committee a very, very long time ago, but because of my scheduling issue, I haven't been really active, but I'm glad to be back. I want to really get involved this year, so I'm just happy to be here, and I'm excited to hear what you guys have planned.
Thank you. Well, welcome back, and it's great to have you here. I'm going to move. Did I get everyone? Did I miss anyone? As I go down the list, I think I got, Miss Lovell. Deidre Lovell?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Hi, Gail. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Okay, yeah, I
Just
got
introduce
in.
yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm Deidre Lavelle. I am a business owner on Ocean Avenue. My mom and I, we run Garden of Knowledge Daycare and Learning Center, located at 1657 Ocean Avenue. And I've been coming to a couple meetings so far, and I'm happy to join all of you tonight and hear what's going on in our community.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I think I've gotten everyone. Did I miss anyone? Did I capture? Okay. All right, seems I got everyone. So, oops, sorry. I'm going to move into the chairperson report. It's going to be very short, just a couple of things. So once again this year, we are in SYEP time zone, and that's the summer youth employment. I put the link in the chat. So I'm asking once again, if you're from a school or organization, wherever, please share it out. The age for SYEP is from 14 years old. So if you have those young people in your homes, in your programs, even friends, family, go online, sign them up, choose one of the organizations that's within the community or wherever might be convenient for your young person. It's a 20-week paid program by the city. DYCD sponsors this program. Very good question, Kamara. I've myself have utilized it for my daughter for a couple of years. It is by kind of a lottery. So unfortunately, everyone who applies doesn't, but you got to be in it to win it, as they say. So I ask you to please pass on this information. Kamara, is there any public records to check how many percentage of students in our district take advantage of SYEP?
That includes
Go ahead, Kamara.
application. Sorry, that includes application because like the lottery system, if it's a difference that they're chosen. But I just want to know if there's any public way to check how many from our district even applied.
Yeah, I've never checked that out. I know my organization does it, and maybe I'll ask one of my friends who usually heads up, is the point person around it, to see if there is, because sometimes you have to be in the DYCD system to pull up this information. And I used to be, don't have access like that anymore. But I can find out. Just remind me, Kamara. That would be interesting to know with the organizations around here. Because I know Canva is one, Sesame Flyers is another. The God Squad also does SYEP. And we have a ton of other organizations that do it. One of the things that I really wanted to was our business folks to get involved in it, to hire some of our young people during the summer to work in their restaurants or, grocery stores, or just to provide that job, because the money does not come from the employer itself. It comes out from DYCD. It's who paid these kids, but it's such a great beneficial program. I know it's only 20 hours a week, but it puts money in their pocket, and then also it keeps our kids off the streets, right? Especially if they don't have a program that they're attending during the summer. And we all know that working builds character. And tell me a young person who don't want to have their own money, right, to walk around with. So I'm going to reach out to Mr. Backerdine and see, send the information to him to see if we can get some of our business owners to take part in SYEP and hire. And as I said, it's by lottery, but hey, I think, and it's also depend on the amount of funding that DYCD has for this, but who knows? Why not try? Next is, so the third and final public hearing of Governor Kathy Hochul's SUNY Downstate Community Advisory Board is going to be held, which is DCAP, is going to be held tomorrow, Thursday, March 13th at 6 p.m. And it's to discuss the financial health, sustainability, and future of SUNY University Hospital at Downstate. It's going to be at the SUNY Downstate Health Services University, which is located at 395 Lenox Road in the Alumni Auditorium. And if you wish to, I'm going to put some links in the chat. If you wish to participate, you got to fill out the form to submit your written feedback, or if you wish to speak at the meeting, and just letting them know why they shouldn't shutter SUNY Downstate. So if you're available tomorrow, please, see if you can attend. CB17 newsletter. Once again, I'm asking folks to please reach out to Ms. Farah to be added. There's a lot of information that is in that newsletter. Ms. Farah, do you mind dropping the link in the chat that folks can just go in and peruse it,
Absolutely.
on their time?
Link our previous archives, and I'll also put my email for anybody who has any flyers that they would like to put in our newsletter. Just a quick heads up, the newsletter won't be out till the 20th, so I'd appreciate it if all flyers came in before the 18th. And yeah,
Awesome.
just look out on
Okay, awesome. And if your organization, if you're having an event or what, we offer freely for you to have your information in our newsletter, which goes out to quite a number of people in the community. And I've gotten quite a bit fond of reading and going through there, because sometimes I'm like, wow, there's so much happening, but it's very informative. Our next board meeting is going to be March 19th at 7 p.m. at SUNY Downstate. So if you're available, please do attend. And board members, if you can please also attend. There is, we have been lacking in having quorum, and we, have businesses that are coming for liquor license and cannabis license that needs to be approved. So if you can please be there, that would be great. I think we're getting a little better at the timing of our meetings. So, the executive board heard you, and we want to make sure that we're making the timeline between the 7 to 9 hour to really accommodate everything. So that we now have a new email address, and this is based on now we're all uniform. So before, the committee's email address used to be, it was a Gmail. And what we find was happening is that although we ask people, once you leave that position, please turn over the email address and the password to us so that there's continuity for the next person that takes on that role and they can get into the email. And that has not been happening. So now this is all into Google, still Google, but it's more the business format. So now we are cb17.org. It's the email addresses for every committee now is unified. Under this, the board controls the email. So hopefully, this works better. If, let's say, I leave the education committee, the next person that comes in will be able to get into the email or in the drive, get all the information that's there and stuff like that. So it's part of the continuity plan once chairpersons leave the roles. So that ends my chairperson report. Miss Farah, I know what I didn't see. And I might have missed this. Did we have minutes?
Yeah, we did have minutes, but I don't believe we have quorum to vote on said minutes.
Quorum to do it, yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm going to push that back a bit. Until a little later. Let's see if more folks join. And unfinished business, I'm going to push that back. And since it's 8 o'clock on the dot, and I did tell her 8 o'clock, I am going to ask our guest speaker, Miss Ann Reyes-Smith from Uncommon Schools, who's the regional manager in external affairs, to please give us her presentation. I realize that some of you already know who she is, which is really great. Her from Uncommon Schools, Senator Parker office. And it's funny, I saw someone sent me a clip that Senator Parker is running for city controller. I was like, oh, I've been out of the information business for a bit, dealing with my illness. So I'm trying to do catch up on where everyone is at. So Ms. Smith, please take it away.
Thank you, and good evening all. Thanks for allowing me into your space. As I said, I know many of you, and it's really nice to see you and nice to be presenting in this capacity, but I won't take up much of your time. I work for Uncommon Schools. I've been there now for upwards of almost 4 years, full-time. And my role is the regional manager of external affairs. And what that means is I'm really responsible for relationships, partnerships, connecting the dots with community stakeholders like yourself. And of course, I live in the district, so Community Board 17 and the Education Council is near and dear to my heart. I've attended many of the meetings. And so, and thank you for the update on Downstate. I think one of us plans to be there tomorrow. But Uncommon NYC is a network of free public charter schools. We've been around since 1997, started in Jersey, but largely the New York City network is mainly in Brooklyn, East Flatbush, Crown Heights, Canarsie, East New York, Brownsville, Williamsburg. And, since our first school in Brooklyn, 2004, we've grown to serve grades pre-K to 12th grade across 23 schools in Brooklyn. So I'm happy to see the Garden of Knowledge daycare on with us today. But I'm here to talk to you about partnerships and some of our partnership goals and what we have to offer as a network to community boards and stakeholders like yourselves. In serving Brooklyn community for 20 years, we maintain a reputation of academic achievement, and largely a model of joy and rigor for our students. We take them through college, successfully through college and beyond. Large amount of us keep in touch with our students, hire them for, as interns and even staff. A lot of them come back to be staff members at our schools. And over the course of the pre-K to 12th grade Uncommon Education students learn the equivalent of about 6 extra years of math and over 3 years in English compared to some of the district schools. Uncommon students with diverse learning needs achieve a 30% higher college graduation rate than the national average. 96% of the Uncommon students take one or more AP tests, and the average 2020 for our numbers for 2023 Uncommon graduate attending college has received about 31,800 in scholarships, which is great. Their grades are usually very good. Students are they enjoy the school curriculum, the programs. Our staff is diverse and very much committed in connecting and engaging with our parents and even our DOE peers. We have a lot of good relationships with our DOE peers. We support them in many ways, and you'll hear about that in a minute. We also work with our elected officials on the ground. So in our district, we have Assemblywoman Monique Waterman. We have Farah Louis, Rita Joseph, who's head of the chair of the Education Committee City Council. We have great relationships with many and most of them. And establishing these partnerships with influential community-based organizations throughout Brooklyn, such as Community Board 17, it really just brings together the mission of quality education, parent choice, and even student choice. If you have choices to go to college, you should have choices to go to elementary school, middle school, or any school in our community that you think works best for you. We have had instances where people have come to our school and, some of them may say, look, it's not a good fit. We want to go to this DOE school. We make the referral. So there's no issue with working with DOE. There's no issue with working with education councils, CECs, or any of that. We are here to support our community. We are here to support everyone in our community. Part of what that looks like is also referring them for services like housing support, immigration support, maternal health support. We work very closely with a lot of the CBOs on the ground, Caribbean Women's Health being one of them, Girl Scouts and others, so many that empower young men and women to be productive citizens of society and get them to where they would like to see themselves as adults. Ways to partner would include referring families, supporting and hosting events, spreading the word. We come together with bodies like this to support the work that you do. So if you're having a health fair, family day, a block party, sometimes we provide the refreshments. We have book bag giveaways. We do turkey drives. We do toy drives. And we collaborate many times with elected CBOs and entities to be able to provide these things to our community. And so with that said, I'm really excited to be part of this meeting tonight to let you all know about what we have to offer, and then also offer the opportunity for you all, if you have events coming up, to let us know what the schedule looks like. We will then also share some of the events that we're doing to invite you all to either table or invite your network. But we're very excited to be collaborating and having the opportunity to partner in many ways with Community Board 17 for this year. And that's my presentation. If there are any questions, do let me know. But I really just wanted to do a quick intro tonight just to sort of update you all on what we're about.
Awesome. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions?
Monica McCain Brown. What types of scholarships, first question, what type of scholarships are available to these students who get the scholarships? Are they various colleges?
They're college scholarships, largely academic college scholarships, and to a variety of colleges. We do have a high school 2.0 program team that works very closely with the students to guide them on their filling out their college applications, their financial aid, and the scholarship forms. And, oftentimes, we have students that maybe can't afford tuition or books or, a number of things. And so what I have seen since I've been there, scholarships related to tuition, books, and those things are definitely available. We have a lot of our students that have really good grades and get full rides to the school. So we provide them scholarships for their books to be able to afford their books and all of those other things. So if you are interested in this information, I will certainly, you just reminded me to do this before I go, but I will certainly share my contact in the chat.
I'm
And
interested
we
as
can definitely.
a retired
Sure.
assistant principal who dealt, with these things also. So I'm just
Oh,
where are
beautiful.
we now in terms of these things? Also, do your students or do you have your students partner with any programs such as ABC or Oliver or Prep for Prep? Have these and what has been the success rate with your students if they have entered these programs? What has it been over the 21 years?
Well, I couldn't tell you that because that is more on the academic side. For external affairs, I don't have that data, but I could certainly circle back and get it to you. I do know that many of our students do partner. Let's just take, for example, internships, partner with, or we connect them rather, linkage and navigation with some of our elected officials' offices, many of our colleges to be able to have meaningful and impactful work specific or work focused internships. I myself have mentored and guided many students in my department to be able to do things like social media, public relations, government affairs, writing letters, writing press releases, setting up events. And so we do work in tandem with many of our, and these are not necessarily students that just go to our schools. I have hosted students outside of our school network for the summer for some of these opportunities as well.
Okay, I wanted to find out again in terms of what you're saying there, in terms of the extras. Most of the time, it's provided by community as well as yourselves in providing these extra projects and whatever to have kids
yes.
become okay. All right, thank you.
And I'm going to put my contact in if any other follow-up questions, especially with someone of your experience and background, expert experience and background. Feel free to send it to me, and I can get the answers or connect you with the right person at the school.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Rhea,
Anyone
what are
else?
yes, sorry. Cheryl, what are the grades again at your school and name?
Oh, pre-K all the way to 12. We have a variety of schools throughout Brooklyn. Some of them are pre-K through elementary, some are middle, some are high school.
Mhm. How are your programs with special ed?
We have quite a bit. So with IEPs and differently abled students, there are teachers that are trained to work with these students. They are not taken out of the classroom and sort of separated. They remain in the classroom with everyone else. We have, so for example, in our classrooms, we have a teacher, and I think our principal here might be able to better explain it, but you have the teacher for the class teaching up front, and then towards the back, for those who have IEP, or even just someone who, has a little lag in understanding what the teacher's teaching. Towards the back, they have their own board, and they're going as close pace as possible with the teacher with what she's teaching, but they're taking that time out one-on-one or one-on-two, depending, with those students to be able to make sure they grasp the topic.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And there's several other services. Well, we have social workers that are part of our network. So oftentimes our social workers will assess where the needs are and what enrichment needs to happen and what that, sort of course curriculum needs to look like for that particular student. They work with the family and the parents to ensure that they feel comfortable with what they're providing, and they provide it, and then they do assessments as they go along.
Nice. Any other questions?
Oh, yes, Ms. Granton, I don't know. I guess you can't see the hands, right?
Yeah, I see your
I'm
face.
going back and forth.
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't
my
see
hand
yours,
is
but
up.
go ahead,
Yeah,
because
no,
I
well,
heard your voice before. Go ahead.
yeah, but just in case you don't see the hands, I could aid you with that if you can't see them, okay? Because I
Okay.
could let you know whose hands is up too.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. Hi, Ms. Smith. Okay, thank you
Hi.
for the presentation. And yes, I'm one of those who remember you. I do believe you were with Jesse Hamilton too, right?
I was with Jesse Hamilton, Assemblyman
Yes, cause
Perry.
no, cause
Yes,
you
I started
you
in
helped.
government with Nick Perry.
Yeah, cause you helped us out a lot with youth happening when you were Jesse Hamilton. Like I personally went to pick stuff up from you. So I really thank you for all the help you have done with us. Well, my question is regarding like the schools. Where are the schools in our area located?
Oh, hold on, I have to look up the addresses. You know what? If you don't mind, I could
Yeah.
put in the chat a list of the schools with the addresses.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll
And
put them out. Yeah.
yes, and I just wanted to clarify the scholarship that you mentioned are for students in your program, right?
Correct. Now, there
Thank you.
have been times that we might have had, partnered with a CBO or corporation to provide a small scholarship for other things outside of academics, but that really depends on the relationship. We recently, last 2 summers actually, we provided some stipends to the United States Steel Band Association for the youth that were participating in the youth steel band competition, and we provided them some stipends to be able to get their T-shirts and some of the things to get them ready for their competition. So we also do things like that as well in terms of scholarship or stipend style donations.
Okay. And the last question is, do you like make a presentation like let's say like the churches that have like a youth?
Oh yes. Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, if there are CBOs and or FBOs, faith-based organizations, or any other entity, like I could probably come to a Block Association meeting as well. We have myself and my colleagues. We do split up just like we do with our community board meetings, and we make these presentations accordingly.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Yes. Hi.
Comments? Go
This
ahead,
is
Miss Lavelle.
Deidre Lavelle. Hi, Miss Smith. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great. Well, first and foremost, I want to applaud Uncommon because I've been hearing a lot of good reports. A lot of my children that are moving on into kindergarten lately, these last couple of years, Uncommon has been one of the most talked about choices in the neighborhood. So
Oh,
you
okay,
all
that's good
are,
to know.
yeah, doing something really positive.
I promise you
So
weren't paid for that.
so as we add more seats to our center, that's something we want to focus on and try to strengthen, and also provide some sort of pipeline for parents to because our preschool is a little different. We are not only focusing on general skills that the children need, but also academic skills, so they're really ready for kindergarten. So we're always
Beautiful.
looking for programs that will continue with our children based on where we left off, and based
Wonderful, and we're
on,
happy for that.
yeah. So I guess the question would be, how can we become better partners, and how can we
Oh,
deepen our partnership with
just give
Uncommon
me a
as a
call. You
preschool?
have my cell in the chat and my email address. We just actually we just created a partnership with a daycare, a pre-K, daycare, pre-K early childhood center. And part of that partnership is us sharing resources like professional development for staff. You guys joining our trainings when we are training you on how to advocate for funding for your school, with elected officials, going up to Albany together to, speak to the electeds about school choice or parent choice or quality education, funding issues, expansions, things like that. So, our network is a network that's sort of all encompassing and inclusive of other peers that do the work that we do, because at the end of the day, education is the key for all students, all children, not just one that goes to this school, one that goes to that school. All of them are going to become tomorrow's leaders, and so we all have to be hands-on with it, whether they're at our school or your school or any school. And so, yeah, I am definitely open. I share a lot of resources from both ends, from the Senate and from the school. And so whatever you need, feel free to call me or email me or hit me up. And if there's something I think that that might be of interest to you, I will definitely share the same.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
No problem. And for the young lady who mentioned to me about scholarships, I know that the students have been awarded numerous scholarships from QuestBridge National College Match Scholarships. That program usually does a lot of the full ride 4-year scholarship matches to the top colleges and universities for our students.
Any other questions for?
Yeah, could I ask another question, Cheryl?
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Saunders, please.
Yeah. I was looking at the directory of schools, and I really can't tell if your schools are in public schools or
Some are co-located. Yes, that's a
they're
great
public.
question.
Okay, yeah.
Some are standalone and some are co-located. And for the most part, we have pretty strong relationships with our co-located DOE schools. Oftentimes, for example, we just visited one with Councilmember Rita Joseph in the East Flatbush District, and at that meeting, we invited the DOE principal to attend. We did a tour together of both schools. And so, yes, some schools are co-located and some are standalone schools.
Okay, so the co-located, they probably have access to the libraries, gym.
Oh, yes.
Computer
The
tech.
shared spaces are usually, gym, library, cafeteria, of course, the lobby in and out. And when it comes to things like fire drills and safety issues, they're all, everyone treats it as a one school inclusive communication.
But the standalone schools, do they have libraries, gyms, computer labs?
Yes, most of the schools have a library. Some are small, some are smaller than others. Some of them do have tech labs. It depends on, I think the ones that do have the tech labs might mostly be high school and middle school. Don't quote me on that. But there are tech availabilities. I think for the elementary school and the younger kids, the focus is more of a, teacher-taught education plan and not so much, a lot of them are on video games already, iPads, all that good stuff. So we provide them laptops that they can do a lot of their homework and their work on, but not all schools, to my understanding, have specific tech labs.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
But if we find a sponsor to give us one, we'll certainly take it.
What, the tech labs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, it just came across my mind as we're talking about tech. If you all have any shelters that you can recommend, I'm looking for maybe 1 or 2. We have some laptops that we refurbished, and we want to be able to donate them. So if you have any opportunity for any family shelters where mothers and children are, it would be I'd be happy to call them to see if we can donate some of those laptops on behalf of CB17.
Okay, thank you. Does it have to be shelters?
Shelters in terms of like the, unhoused or temporary units, because oftentimes those youth don't really have access to technology.
Right.
And so, that's why we were sort of targeting those to start. But if you have someone in the community or a family in the community that are under-resourced, we certainly could take a look at that and maybe make an exception.
Okay. I can definitely look into that.
Mm-hmm.
And speak to Miss Frazier tomorrow. Around
Okay.
that, I know one or two shelters that we have, women and children and some families. And the reason why, as kind of leading up to my next question, because one of the things that I find in our community is just sharing resources. And I'm kind of interested in, do you share resources with other schools within the community, but not the ones that you co-locate with? And I
We
know that,
share.
no, I was going to say, I know that resources are scarce at times, so I don't want to see like I'm like pushing you on it, but I just want to know like if that happens.
Sure. We had last summer. I can't remember what school it was right now. This was one in Bed-Stuy, I believe, and another one in East New York. We got together, and in their school playground, we had done we did the backpack giveaway, and their students were able to come and get free backpacks, book bags, and school supplies. We weren't, we didn't want to separate it. We just opened it up to first come, first serve for the students at the schools, and then anything else left, the community was able to get a ticket and come and receive a backpack with school supplies. So, yeah, what we get, we do try to share, whether it's knowledge, resources, and or physical items. Even for the toy drives, for example, for the toy drives, part of the reason why we partner with CBOs and community groups like community boards is that we can attend the toy drive or even give you the bags of toys. And with that, you can give it to whomever you'd like during your event or host another,
Yeah.
another event. And that's why we couple with the elected officials in the district to be able to do this as well.
Yeah, I kind of like that because I didn't want to push, like asking you to push your resources on,
Yeah.
or to give to other people. But so
We are
you're saying
definitely open. Once
education,
it's a community event and once it's community
events?
related, we don't have a distinction.
Okay.
Mhm.
That is good to know. I'm going to put you on my community events list to invite you, if possible,
Sure.
to
And for
Youth
the
Cap.
education committee, if we are going, let's say we're going to, I think we're planning a small trip to Albany for a day, a bus ride to Albany for a day to lobby for education, quality education, a few other things related to education. And that's not necessarily just charter, it's in support of education, whether it's DOE or charter. And so when those opportunities come up, I would certainly be happy to share it with the education committee. If anyone wants to join us to go up, we certainly would be happy to have you.
That is awesome. That is really great. Just so that folks understand, it's not just about charter schools or what, it's about education in general. You're advocating, yes, for funding, but for resources, all on that basis. I used to do those trips years ago to Albany around that time, and then to the Black Caucus and stuff like that. They can be very resourceful and networking also. I know there's a lot of people in our community who do know our elected officials and stuff like that. But it's good to get in front of them whenever you can, and just, lobby for what is
Definitely.
needed. So, yeah.
We also have, before I go, we also have the opportunity for Family Champions, which is basically like a PTA, but we call them Family Champions. There are parents within our networks and in the community, like yourselves. It's a group of parents and advocates that get together. We have virtual meetings every couple of months. It's not monthly, it's not weekly. We have events probably one a quarter. We have one coming up, which is our end of year get together. We usually host it and provide meals for everyone, whether it's dinner or lunch. We do bowling day, we do roller skating. For the youth ambassadors, We provide volunteer opportunities for them, like garden cleanups in the different communities. They work in the offices from time to time. They shadow the elected officials, and we have an end of year celebration for them as well. So if anyone's interested in joining the Family Champion group, do let me know as well. Reach out and I'll, get you the information. It's pretty basic. You just let us know that you're interested and we start inviting you to a few things, one of which will be also advocating in Albany for a variety of things related to education, attending events, maybe helping us set up an event or bringing volunteers, things like that. It's really up to you and what your capacity allows you to do, because I know everybody's super busy with like 5 and 6 jobs,
Yeah, it's a lot happening.
It is a lot
I would,
happening.
yeah, I would love if you invite me to the next event of that. I would love to see, to just be in that room or virtually in that space to hear what parents are talking about, and
Sure.
in a setting, in just an educational space setting, that would be quite interesting. So if you
Okay.
can,
I'll invite you to the
make
next
it
Family
invitation.
Champion session that we have. Just
Okay.
when we're done, if you wouldn't mind, maybe tomorrow, just emailing me your interest, and I'll add it to send it over to the young lady who schedules them.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Is there any more other questions for Ms. Smith? So I know one of the questions was asking her where the schools are located, and I had this before. I think there are 2 that are quite close to us.
Yeah, let me just look at the addresses.
There's
One
the,
second.
we're in Little Caribbean. Miss Farah, tell me if I am going out of district. I mean, there's a couple in Canarsie,
There are a
but
few
that's
in
not.
Canarsie. Yeah, no, I'll
There's
tell you where.
Uncommon Preparatory, that's Canarsie.
Is
There's the Brown.
905? Yes, 905 Winthrop. Is that in 17?
Yes.
So
Winthrop
yeah, there's
and where? It's 905. Depend.
Winthrop and Nostrum.
East
Yes.
52nd. I used
Oh,
to
that one.
be
That's on
in
the other
that
side,
school.
right?
Yes, it's East
Mm-hmm.
53rd and 52nd.
Second. Okay.
Used
That
to
is
So
be
correct.
yes.
Senior High.
And then there is Kings Middle on Lenox Road, 1084 Lenox Road.
Yes. 1084. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
And
those
I
2.
think there might be one other. There's one on Empire. I'm not sure if that reaches.
No, that's out of our district, but
Yeah.
hey,
Then
close
just
enough
those 2.
that if someone, being that these are elementary and middle, and correct me, Ms. Smith, that it doesn't matter whether you live in district or not, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you want your child to go to the one in Williamsburg, they can go to Williamsburg.
In Williamsburg, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got closest 1084 Lenox, 905 Winthrop. And I know there's part of our schools that of our district that kind of borders Canarsie also, because there's the one on East 100th Street also. Do they share on the one on East 100th Street? Do you know, do they share? Is that co-located?
That
with
is co-located. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the middle school is, well, yeah.
The 104,
With
East
the middle
104th.
school that's in there. Okay. So there are quite a few, and if you have family members that are also interested, you can tell them about Uncommon Schools. You can actually go online. Let's see. And Ms. Smith did put the link in there, and you can check them out. Whichever works for you. There are also, if you have family in the city that's looking for schools, they're also there. So, any other questions?
Muley Mickle. So
Yes, Miss Bickle.
your curriculum, do you do the same curriculum like the regular public schools, or do you
The
go between?
curriculum is based on what, this, again, I'm not in classroom teaching,
Oh, you're
so
not
I
in
don't review.
classroom.
No, I'm external
Uh,
affairs. However, the curriculum, based on the state requirements,
right.
they meet the standards. However, in visiting the classrooms myself, I have seen, as one of the parents have told me, I have seen some of the teachers that I have observed have a creative way in teaching to reach the students in such a way where they understand it and they get the topic of discussion. They reiterate, they recap. So they give them consistent reinforcement. They give them the freedom to express and give them the time to be able to answer. In terms of the curriculums themselves, they do work with what DOE provides, but they also add, I guess, based on how they feel their students learn and how they feel their students want to grasp what they're teaching. They do put their own spin on it to be able to to be able to keep them engaged. And I think curriculums are curriculums, but if you have a good teacher who can keep you engaged, you're open to learning pretty much anything. You can be a rocket science once you have a good teacher. And I applaud all the work teachers do, because I don't know how they deal with some of these kids.
Right.
But they're like nurses, they're angels, They keep our
Yes.
kids
Yes.
safe all day long and they teach them, and our kids, some of our kids come out really, really well prepared for life.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teachers
Yeah.
are
This.
rock stars.
Yeah. This is
Mr.
George.
Tate? Yes.
Yes. I noticed that a couple of the schools were gender specific, or all the
Yes, we
others
do.
co-ed.
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. We do have a couple that are, well, we have Excellence Boys, elementary and middle, and we have Excellence Girls, elementary and middle.
Okay.
Are
Is
those,
that
are those the only two? Are those the only two that are gender specific? All the others are co-ed?
They're all co-ed. The others are co-ed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
are those two programs somehow like a what do you call them? Oh my goodness, the word just eluded me.
Pilot programs. You want
I'm sorry, say that again, Mr. Tate.
Pilot programs? Were you wondering if they were like pilot programs or?
No, not pilot programs. When we have the gifted programs, are
gifted
those,
programs.
because I
Oh,
heard the
gifted.
word excellent in there, so I'm just
Yeah,
wondering.
well, you know what? That's a good question. I don't think it's a gifted school. No, we don't, to my knowledge, we don't have gifted schools per se, but I do know that those schools particularly have very high, the students rather have very high, how should I say, engagement with their schoolwork. They get high grades. They excel in the coursework, and a lot of them exceed some of the education standards. And I can't say, maybe a social worker might be able to give you the stats, but I can't say if it's because it's gender specific or if it's because the focus is, we have, for example, Excellence Boys, we have a lot of male teachers that really focus particularly on young men of color and sort of provide that well-rounded school experience. They have like handshakes, individual handshakes for each one of the students. They, for those kids who have issues at home, they talk to them. So, I don't know if it's because they're getting some of that specialized attention, but those two schools, particularly the gender specific ones, the kids do really well.
Okay, that's interesting. Very
And coming from the
interesting.
Caribbean, like myself, I went to an all girls elementary, and so I kind of I kind of can relate to it.
Yeah.
And I was in an all girls school through middle school.
Okay.
And then for high school, I went to a, co-ed. So it helped. I can say from my experience, it was a great experience.
Yeah, some kids do quite well,
Mm-hmm.
and depends
Yes.
on what is needed. Okay, so is there any
Yeah,
other
Miss McCain
questions?
Brown.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tate. And Ms. Smith, I can hear you and relate to you when you said you went to all girls school. I went from elementary straight up to upper six in
Oh
Trinidad.
wow.
So
In
I could,
Trinidad. Okay,
yeah, so
exactly.
I hear that. My
I went to
question,
Mucurapo Girls in St. James, so
okay, I went to St. Ursula's on St. Vincent Street and Bishop Anstey High School.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good.
Coming back to what we just spoke about, I have a question in terms of, do you know how they deal with students, how the teachers in your schools deal with students with discipline problems? And when I say discipline problems, not the regular talking or so, but discipline problems that could be disruptive to the classroom.
I think, and again, I'm not in the class often enough, but here's what I've observed. Depending on the disciplinary issue, right? If you're acting out, screaming, disrupting class, throwing things down, that might be different. There is a process. But those who are, maybe raising their hand too much, can't sit still. There's some, I wouldn't call them a para, but there's like an assistant teacher, so to speak, for lack of a better term, that works one-on-one with that student at the back of the room at the same pace the teacher's teaching, but focusing on just the child to be able to keep them calm, keep them focused, keep them working. And, sometimes the kids just don't want to learn that day, so they keep them activated. I'll use that word, activated, in a way that is productive for them. Now, if they're completely disruptive, throwing themselves on the floor, throwing things down or whatever, they are taken out into the hallway, they're spoken to, and they're allowed back in. I think they give them a few, times to be back in and out. And if it just has been too much, I think there is I don't know if it's a cool down room or a cool down space, but there are a number of different ways. And I think for each school, the school leadership can make a determination based on if it's habitual or if it's just a one-off. Sometimes the kids maybe are having a bad day. Sometimes they're thirsty. Sometimes they're hungry. Sometimes they didn't go to sleep, and get enough sleep at night,
Those
So
are
I guess it's case by case.
Yeah, those are some of the regular issues that as administrators or teachers come up. We're aware of that. But I was talking about, for instance, and I know prior to me retiring, which has been a while now, is that we did, for instance, in the public school, we had suspensions. And I know there were students who, if they did some infractions that were really calling for suspensions in some of the charter schools, they would send back into the public schools. So that's why I wanted to know how you deal with issues that really come about, that are severe enough to say warrant even a suspension. Because some of what you mentioned there can be students, as you said, who have a bad day, or students who need some special needs or whatever, which is, understandable. But those students who might really go and have to have some sort of suspension. Are you aware of how they deal with it in their schools?
I am not aware because I've not been part of that process. I do know that if there is a need for a suspension, which I'm not saying we don't suspend, I'm sure there's instances where we've had to suspend for a number of reasons, public safety, student safety, whatever it might be. The parent is notified, involved, and there is a sort of larger discussion. Suspension is the last resort. We oftentimes don't go straight to suspension. There are a few things that, few steps in between, and the suspension is usually the last resort. The parent is involved in, all communications from day one. And sometimes the parents choose to take them out just based on their own preference. We don't have anything against that either. But I would say it is a process, a step-by-step process. It's not our first option, and the parent is always involved.
Okay, thank you.
Question. Do parents pay to go to those schools, to your schools?
No, these are all
Free.
free.
They're all
It's
free.
a public school. Yeah,
They're
they're public
public
schools
school.
like every other public school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, so Miss Smith, I want to thank you so much for
Okay.
gracing us tonight with your presence and providing all the information. Miss Smith has put her information in the chat, so if you need more, information around common schools and locations within our community or externally, please, send her email or give her a call, and I'm sure that she'll be more than willing to help you figure out location wise or provide you with someone who may be able to give you more information if necessary. So thank you, Miss Smith, and let's not be strangers.
Absolutely.
I will send you an email. So around that family champion event sounds very interesting. And we would like to also, get you to maybe one or two of the events that we have in the community, just to market your school a bit more. So
Oh,
thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And,
And
and just one last thing before I go, I just remembered, if anyone is interested in using either one of our schoolyards or schools for a meeting or hosting an event, do feel free to let us know, because our schoolyards and our schools are open to the community for these types of things.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Definitely we'll look into that.
No problem.
Okay.
Good night. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, good. Thanks for your presentation. Good night.
Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So a couple of other things that I forgot to mention. So Sesame Flyers have a scholarship application coming due in April. I just put the chat in the chat. I'm sorry, the link in the chat. If you need more information, just go to the website and it will tell you what you need to do. All the information is there. So please do that. Miss Farah?
Yes, Miss Grandison?
Yes. I don't see I want to move back to the minutes, and I don't see any in my email. Did I miss them? I don't see
I
minutes in
sent
my
them in the one I sent yesterday, or I believe earlier today.
I think it's the one you sent today, because that's where I saw it in the reminder.
Today is the 12th.
Yeah, it was sent at 1:30 p.m. today.
Oh, you know what it is? Oh, you wouldn't believe what's happening to me, Miss Farah. The two email addresses, the two different locations.
What I can do, Miss Grandison, like offline, you and I can just schedule a quick, brief meeting, so that those emails will basically be combined. So whatever email you get from your regular youth and education email at gmail.com, all those emails will go to that new email we created. That way it's all in one place going forward.
Oh, I got it. No, it's okay. I have them set up that I can. I really didn't want to combine them, but since I found it. I was looking, but I forgot that I have another whole different Google setup thing. Does everyone, first of all, do we have quorum?
Yes, we do have quorum.
Okay. And everyone has the meetings. Committee members, you guys have the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So then, can I get a motion once you guys have looked through, and are there any corrections to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for the February 12th, 2024 Youth and Education Committee meeting?
Uh, Madam Chair?
I'm sorry, that wasn't clear.
No question, because I thought we didn't have a quorum, right?
Ms. Farah just said we have quorum.
We have
Oh,
quorum. Some new members joined after a little bit
Joined.
later.
okay, so I make a motion to, George State make a motion to approve the minutes.
Monica McCain Brown, second the motion to approve the minutes at 8:48 p.m.
Thank you. So the motion has been approved the motion to approve the minutes for the February meeting is on record. I'm going to just move down to new business or unfinished business because we have about 10 minutes left. Couple of things I wanted to say. So I think at the last meeting I spoke briefly about creating a schedule for some projects and stuff that we want to do. I just want to go through that quickly with you. So March, and I can share this with you. The speaker series. So coming up in April is going to be Miss Bilal, Bridging Access to Care. And then May, I'm going to reach out to Mr. Albrecht. I know I haven't yet, to speak financial advisor in terms of, preparing for college and some financial literacy
I'm
to
willing
share with
whenever.
us. Yes, I will send you a formal invite request, but I know, I had asked you and you said yes, and I wanted to get you on the schedule. And then in June, we're going to spend that time just planning out youth happening. We are, doing a lot of planning and stuff now, but we're really going to talk about it more in depth. And then a couple of events that I was thinking of doing, not sure whether it's not. So April, I was looking at a parent and kids trivia night. You can let me know whether this sounds feasible or not. I think I was just trying in my mind to get parents and kids together just to do something fun. We had the spelling bee back in October last year to make up for last year, and I'm thinking about June of this year so that we catch up. So please let me know June 5th, tentative date for the spelling bee. We'll do that again this year. And then
Chair, could I
yes,
mention,
ma'am.
Cheryl, the spelling bee last year, I think it was during a holiday weekend, and I
Yes.
forgot all about it. And the Chair Daly really gave it to us because I remember that none of us showed up for it because I think we've just forgot about it. And
No, I was there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. There were some people that was there. And we spoke about this at length. The reason why we decided to do it during the holiday was to open it up to everyone because it would be a day that everyone would be available. Usually we keep these on a Saturday, and information was going out around it, about the spelling bee. We usually do it on a Saturday, but we've gotten some feedback that not everyone is able to attend because of religious reasons, especially on Saturdays. And, it's also like that time where parents are out and, like as I call it, my errands day. Which sometimes for me can start in the morning at 9 o'clock and I'm not finished till like 3-4 o'clock because it's the one day that I have outside of work to get a lot of stuff done. So we tried it on a holiday where that holiday did not impact anyone's religious affiliations. Some parents people are off, but just to get it opened up and have more people. And it was what it was. It's just happened, but the information went out and was shared constantly from Ms. Farah around the spelling bee. So this year we want to go back to June. There are some holidays in June. We do have, it used to be Flag Day, but now it's what's that day called? Oh my goodness. Juneteenth. That's what I'm looking for. We have Juneteenth. Let's see, the 2025 school calendar. November. What else is there in June that's happening? We have June 5th. Oh, also was the Eid al-Adha anniversary day. School is closed that day, and I think that's why we were looking at that. And we know that Regents is the 6th to 10th. And then we have Juneteenth, the 19th, which is school is closed. So we have 2 days out of that week where it can be open to everyone, regardless of religious affiliations. So we can go back and revisit that, but I would like to do a spelling bee, and I would like to start to get the information out as soon as possible. One of the other events that I definitely want to do. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the other day that the school, you mentioned Juneteenth, and what was the other day?
June 5th.
June
June
5th?
5th and June 19th.
Oh, Brooklyn Day. Yes, thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
The other event that I want to do in May, and I'm not sure about the parents and kids trivia night. It was just something we were thinking about, of bringing parents and kids together. But I definitely want to have a spring parent networking evening. And more than likely, we'll try to do this, depending on what we have, to do it in the board's office. But I would like to do something where, besides the spelling bee, where parents are there and we can network with parents, we can talk with them. It could be educators also, but I would love to hear from parents, because I know for a lot of us, going to the PTA meetings are not always viable. We can't always, the time frame in which they happen. Some are virtual, some are not. But definitely want to do a spring parent networking evening. I would like a couple of people, if you have the time, if you can help me logistically to collaborate to get this together. I'm looking for your help for those two events, especially the spring parent networking evening and the spelling bee. And we're going to start to advertise both of these at the beginning of April. So I'm asking, is there anyone who would like to work on these events with me? Please let me know as soon as possible. I don't want it to be just me and Miss Farah doing this. I want to get your input. So that's open to our members. Okay. And that is it. Is there any new business that anyone wants to bring, or any information anyone wants to share with the committee members that's happenings? It could be stuff that's happening in the community, an event that you think it's worthwhile for us to attend. The floor is open to you.
Yeah, this is George.
Yes, go
Just
ahead.
something I think is very important for the homeowners, because now after 4 years they brought back up the tax lien sale. So that just a reminder to everyone to check, make sure your any bills that
Property
we have with the
tax.
city, are including the water bill, real estate taxes, or anything, are in order, because everything would have to be corrected before May 19th, because on May 20th, all the liens are going to sale. So they are sending out 3 notices. One is a 90-day notice, then a 60-day notice, and a 30-day notice. And if you don't respond, please, they will try to take you out. But there's help. So if anyone needs help regarding how to take care of any situation that they have,
Bills.
yeah, contact this. Oh, I don't have the link with me, but there's or you could check with community board or with NHS. If not, you could call me because I have the information somewhere, but I don't have it. Or what I could do, I could pass the link on to Ms. Gardens or Ms. Farah, and she could send it to the committee. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll send the link to Ms. Farah, and then she could send it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you,
But
Mr. Tate.
yeah,
Thank you.
go.
Very important. That tax lien is coming through. And even if your mortgage banker is, the one responsible for paying your taxes or what, I just drop a link in the chat where you can go and even check for yourself, trust but verify that your taxes are being paid, and look up all that information on your own. But it's always good to double check and to be sure. And those liens are no joke. When I've known one or two people who have, with the tax liens. So thank you, Mr. Tate, for that. Any other? We have about a minute. Any other information?
Ms. Grandison,
Yes, ma'am.
can I just say hello to Miss Mickle?
Hi, Miss.
Hi, Miss
Miss.
Mickle. Glad to see you out, and you and your husband get better soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. My
So
question was,
Mhm.
how does the dismantling of the Department of Education, how would it affect us?
So we're going to leave that for our next conversation. That's a heavy topic. I am listening to, the pros and cons and what's happening. So we're going to talk about that at the next meeting. I'm going to make sure to put it down to be on the schedule and get more information
I really
as
deeply
it's
need
now
to.
happening, to that we can have a conversation around that. Okay, Miss
Okay.
Mickle. Yes, it's a very heavy topic,
It
and
is.
we're kind
It
of
is.
out of time. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we know this month is Women History Month, and one of the things I think Ms. Farr has sent out an email. I hope everyone had gotten it. To nominate a person, a woman who you think is doing phenomenal work within the community or on the board or in, it was, we said on the board or in a community, committee. I was very disappointed that no one nominated anyone, and we have so many phenomenal women on here. The due date has passed. So we were going to present that person or persons, who you nominated among yourselves at the next board meeting, which is next week on the 19th. But from me to you, I want to wish you a happy Women's History Month. I think you ladies are all phenomenal. I want to honor your strength, resilience, and brilliance of the women we've had on this board and in this committee in the past and present, those who have gone on to do great things, those who still show up for our community, like you're here tonight. And I want us to continue to uplift, empower, and inspire each other. When we support each other as women, it's an incredible thing. And, they say self-praise is no praise, but we praise each other and it's okay to pat yourself on the back if you're doing something that you think is so enlightening and it's adding value to our community. So happy Women History Month to you guys. And it is 9:03 p.m. And I would like to ask someone to please make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Ms. Gravison?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just put the link to in the chat.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So folks, make sure that you grab that information. Or Miss Farah, can you grab that information so that you can share it out? That is very important.
Yes, I will.
That as we do an update, there's some stuff that we're going to send you after the meeting just to update you that is the link that we send out. Okay. Miss Farah?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yes, I will have that information sent out as soon as possible.
Okay, great. And if there's any other links on there that we need to send out, please grab them before you log us off. But once again, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Do you need
that's someone else? It does not matter.
I just make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:04 p.m.
Thank you. Can I get a second, please?
Fatima Mohammed, second.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So at 9:04 p.m., the meeting of the Youth and Education Committee is adjourned. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Well, virtually. Please enjoy the rest of your night. God bless. Stay healthy. And I will see you next month, DB.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Good evening to all.
Bye.
Good night to everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Ms. Martin, do you have everything that you need from me?
I believe so. I think I have everything, and I have all the links and such on the side, and I can send them out like tomorrow, or I know Brooklyn Level Up in particular is having an information session about the property lien sales, like tax lien stuff. So when the newsletter comes out, everyone will have all that information on this. Yeah. So I will have everything sent out. Everyone will have all that information. And if you need anything from me, I'm available, or you could just shoot me an email.
I will. So much. Good night.
Have a good night.